Hello everyone. Today is the last day of our presentation. In today's presentation, my topic is a postmodern spirit in a Gugiva's Thiong'o's Petals of Blood based on the concept of Homi Bhabha's. This is my personal information. Let's start with introduction. Gugiva Thiong'os and Homi Bhabha are well expressed from the post-colonial perspective. Develops a set of challenges, concept, and conscious this counter-narrative, the theoretical trap of the Western theoretical system by a crucial post-modern turn within a post-colonial paradigm, and his radical position in the free play of the postmodern and the post-colonial tools of Homi Bhabha will advantage and lead this article to explore the postmodern spirit in the Gugiva Thiong'o's Petal of Blood. The study of postmodernism in Gugiva's Petals of Blood is ultimately depend on the postcolonial theories of Homi Bhabha's hybridity, ambivalence, and mimicry. One of the major themes of Gugiva's novel is the deception of any notion of an epistemological rupture between a colonial and a post-colonial society, and the wide significance of the postmodernism condition lies, according to Homi Bhabha, in the awareness that the epistemological limits of those ecocentric ideas, which is also the enunciative boundaries of a range of the other distance, even a decision historical and voice woman or the colonized minority group and boundaries of the political sexualities in about the author. Gugiwa Thiong'o's original name was James Thiong'o Wagugi, born in January 5th, 1938. His first novel was a Whipped Not in a Child. About the novel, Petals of Blood is published in 1977. The postmodern spirit in the Petals of Blood. In Petals of Blood, Gugiva shows the anxiety about the hybridity, imagining threat to the cultural purity in the integrity through the transformation of the village, Ilmoro, into a proto-capitalist society with the problems of prostitution, social inequalities, misery, uncertainty, and inequality housing. The capitalist social system with its associated class struggle fundamentally influenced the social, cultural, philosophical, economical, and political ideas. Bhabha's concept that the new hybrid identity or subject position emerged from the interweaving of elements of the colonizer and the colonized challenges the validity and authenticity of any essential culture identity, which is very obvious seen in the fragmented of identity of new Ilmoros. In The Petals of Blood, Gugiva provides a rigorous portrayal of the effect of the British occupation in Kenya throughout his emphasis on the cultural diaspora in Ilmo- Ilmoro after a colonial rupture and the hybridized culture practice which his live been show appreciably on the protagonist attempt to the imitate a colonizer culture and bring challenge in Inmore and new hybridity in Inmoro create a ambivalent space. People become a victims of his transformations. So Gugiva's Petal of Bloods, rewriting history and individual and collective struggle is a prominent notion of the novel. In Homi Bhabha's post-colonial discourse in the Petals of Blood, he is given three ideas that cultural hybridity, ambivalence, and mimicry. In cultural hybridity, in Petals of Blood, Gugiva represents the validity of Homi Bhabha's concept of hybridity, of which he compared the critical mixture culture that emerged as a result of the transformation on the Ilmoro society in the capitalist community. Uh, Consciously, the new hybrid culture distort the colonized identity and replacing it with the imperialist culture. In this hybridized culture, practice bring out a new fragment in Ilmoro and officiate a hybrid identity that integrate the Western imperialism culture. Hybridity in the petals of blood is a determined, aggressive, essential of a double violence and double wordness of the characters. In the others, ambivalence. According to Bhabha, this hybrid third phase is ambivalent positions where representations in a culture meaning have no prominent unity of fixity. The concept of ambivalence refers to a state of social, culture, mental, or a people's behavior condition that includes both position of a negative aspect. A Petal of Blood's attempt resolves the complex ambivalence toward a socio-culture modernism realized and is a strong appeal at the same time. The criticize the relation with corruption and for a weakness or a poor fit a traditional value or is a cultural need. In the third, in mimicry, Gugiwa critically expressed the dilemma of African notion in a general and Kenya is a particular which abroad with a Western value. Therefore, Gugiwa puts his critical tool to protect against the hegemonic accusation which aims to dismantle of a national fabric. In Bhabha's notes that the discourse of mimicry is constructed around an ambivalent that does not represent but repeat. Furthermore, Bhabhas argues that here process of mimicry does not have an end, but that there will be always something in a missing. The transformation of the new is always interpreted by culture, historical, and racial background. In conclusion, the Petals of Blood classified Ngugi as a post-colonial writer who tracked in his writing the issue of colonialism and the way it affected the African nation and created another way of life, culture, and social ideological. As a result of Ilmorogian identity shifted from is a fixed position to a new one that completely different. This study of for concept of Homi Bhabha's throughout which he built a radical and a critical thinking about the post-colonial nature nation, which is a conception tool of hybridity, ambivalence, and mimicry. This is my website.